guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kathleen, and today's video I wanted to go ahead and share with you guys my October wrap-up. So I have to say that October was probably one of my best reading months in a very long time. I actually read 6 books this month, and I'm quite proud of myself. In case you don't know, I am a very slow reader, which means I average about 4 books a month, sometimes 5, but that's my average, about 4 books a month. So for me to read 6 is pretty spectacular. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so the first book that I read this month was The Rose and the Dagger by Renee Ahdieh. This is the sequel to The Wrath and the Dawn, which is a 1001 Nights retelling, and I have to say I really enjoyed this book. I gave it 4 stars out of 5, and I really like Renee Ahdieh's writing style. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I do know that some people don't like her writing style. They do think it's a little too much, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was absolutely beautiful. The one reason why I knocked off a star from this book is because of the main character. While I did like her, I don't have anything truly negative to say about her, with the exception that I felt like sometimes she was very arrogant, and that led her to make a lot of mistakes and bad decisions. So there were some points where I was very frustrated with the main character, but otherwise I really enjoyed this book. I loved the ending. I felt like it was a very nice wrap up to this amazing 1001 Nights retelling story. Alright, and then the next book that I read is definitely a book that took me by surprise by how much I ended up loving this book. And it is Illuminated by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. As you guys well know, I was not planning on reading this book. It's sci-fi and it's set in outer space, so those are the types of book I don't tend to reach for just because it intimidates me a little. So I was never planning on reading this book. However, the book club that I'm part of, the BIBLIO squad, made Gemena, which is the sequel to this book, the October book pick of the month. So of course I had to pick up this book, and let me just say I have not loved a book this much since I read The Book Thief. If you are new to my channel, The Book Thief is my favorite book of all time. I consider it my favorite book of all time. If you've been here for a while, you know how much I talk about The Kiss of Deception, how much I love that book. I loved this book 100 times more than that. This book shattered me. It shattered my soul. It shattered my heart. I was literally speechless after reading this book because I didn't know how I felt. I didn't know how to process the information that I finally have read a book that I loved as much as I loved The Book Thief. This book has made its way into one of my favorite books of all time. Every single part, the characters, the plot, the writing style, everything about this book was perfection. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. If I could give 1,000 stars, I would give 1,000 stars for this book. This book deserved all the hype that it got when it was first released. And of course, the next book that I read was Gemena by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. This is the sequel to Illuminated. This book was just recently released. I believe it was released on October 18th. And I just finished reading on Tuesday, November 1st. And this book, it left me just as shattered as Illuminated. Although I do like Illuminated better, but I've read reviews and a lot of people liked this book more than Illuminated. I may be a minority, but I actually really liked Illuminated more than I liked this book. Not the plot. The plot was amazing. I'm talking about character-wise. While I liked the love interest in this book a lot more than the first book, I connected with the main character a lot more in the first book than I did in this book. I don't want to talk about it too much because the BIBLIO squad is doing the live show for this book on November 12th, by the way, at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so join us if you have read this book. But I did love this book. Everything about it was absolutely amazing. I love how the plot just keeps expanding, and the cliffhangers that each one of this book has at the end is just driving me insane, and I cannot believe I have to wait a year before the final book comes out. If you have not read these books yet, please read it because it is amazing. Even if you don't love it as much as I did, trust me, you will not regret it. It is so freaking good. And then the final 3 books that I read were Goosebumps books, and in case you didn't know, Richard from Books and Bullshit, he hosted a Goosebumps along readathon kind of thing in which we picked 3 books from the Goosebumps series and we read them together in the course of 3 weeks. And then at the end of that week, we watched the Goosebumps episode from the original Goosebumps series that was made based on the books. And I have 2 other books here. The 3rd book, I actually have an ebook copy of it. But the first book that I read was The Headless Ghost, and then I read The Ghost Next Door, and then the final book is The Haunted Mask. These books are very, very short. They're about 120 pages each, and they're all so entertaining. They're such quick, easy reads. It's been a long time since I read the Goosebumps series. I've read them when I was a little girl and I loved them, and the thing is, I forgot a lot about what made them so much fun. Like the little cliffhangers at the end of every single chapters, they're so much fun, and they're honestly the reason why I ended up reading each of these books in like an hour, because I have to continue reading in order to find out what happens. And I'm so glad that Richard hosted this little read along, because it kind of instilled that love of Goosebumps in me again. And I ended up buying like 10 books from the Goosebumps series, and I'm planning on buying the rest of them, and I'm going to go ahead and reread all of the books because I absolutely love R.L. Stine and I absolutely love his books. Alright guys, so those are all of the books that I managed to read during the month of October. I'm pretty proud of myself. I mean, 6 books is pretty fantastic. Let me know down in the comments below, did you guys have a good reading month? If so, what did you read this month? Did you enjoy the books that you've read? I'm still stunned at the fact that I loved another book as much as I love the book Thief. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like if you did, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. All of my social medias are linked down below, including Goodreads, Instagram, and Twitter if you would like to follow me. I hope to see you guys on my next video. Have a good day guys, and keep reading. Bye!